Have you ever been hurt by words, even when you did nothing wrong? You tried to explain yourself, but it only made things worse. You stayed silent, but it felt like you were accepting blame. You knew the words weren't true, but they still echoed through your chest all day long. Why does it hurt so much when I've done nothing wrong? Why do I feel crushed by something I didn't cause? Tonight, we'll reflect on how the Buddha himself responded to moments like these. How he stayed grounded, not because he couldn't speak, but because he chose not to. When we suffer from unfair criticism, the Buddha didn't just say stay quiet. He taught us to understand the root of the pain and the power of stillness. He said, "Truth is not proven by words. It is revealed in the quality of your mind. And silence is not weakness. It can be the most compassionate response. When we are falsely blamed, our natural instinct is to fight, to explain, to prove. But the Buddha encouraged us to pause, to observe, and to choose the kind of stillness that protects our peace. That stillness is not fear. It is the quiet confidence of someone who knows their own heart. And even if the truth is never revealed to the world, that calm becomes your own shield, a form of compassion that does not wound you further. The Buddha also taught, insults are like stones thrown into the air. If you don't catch them, they fall back into the thrower's hands. Now, let's turn to a story from the Buddha's life that shows this wisdom in action. One day, while the Buddha was staying at Jetavana Monastery, a woman named Cincā Māṇavikā approached the gathering crowd. She stood tall, her belly visibly round. She pointed to the Buddha and shouted, "This child is yours." The crowd froze. The silence turned heavy. Some began to murmur, "Could it be true?" The Buddha said nothing. He sat still, his gaze steady. That silence was not passive. It was strength, the choice to let the truth rise on its own. He knew that if he defended himself in anger, the words would only fuel the flames. Instead, he waited. And as the tension grew, a string holding up her belly slipped loose. A bundle of sticks tumbled to the ground. The crowd gasped. The lie was revealed. The Buddha's silence wasn't a lack of defense. It was a shield of truth, one that never needed to be sharpened with words. He chose to protect his peace rather than punish the lie. And in doing so, the truth spoke for itself. Maybe today, you've heard something untrue about yourself. Maybe a look, a rumor, or a careless comment has made you feel misunderstood or even ashamed. But remember this: truth runs deeper than words. And over time, it rises more clearly than any noise. Here's a story from one of the Buddha's past lives, recorded in the Mahāpaduma Jātaka. In that life, the Bodhisattva was born as the eldest son of a wise and noble king. He was loved not just for his birth, but for his kindness and clarity. One day, one of the royal concubines approached him with romantic intent. But the prince, grounded in integrity, refused her advances. Humiliated and angry, she ran to the king and lied. "Your son tried to seduce me." The king, shocked and furious, banished his son without investigation. The prince left without argument. He walked into the forest, not in defeat, but in peace. Years passed. the king discovered the truth. He wept and searched for his son. But by then, the prince had become a renunciate, a quiet being who had already let go of the hurt. He simply said, "The truth always rises. But more than that, I have guarded my peace." That is the greater freedom. Sometimes, silence is not retreat. It is how we honor our truth without rage or noise. It's not easy. You might fear being misunderstood, or worry that silence makes you look weak. But the Buddha taught us to see through those fears, to know that the deepest form of truth isn't something shouted, it is something lived. Silence, then, becomes strength and compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. Now gently close your eyes. Bring to mind the harshest thing you heard today. Picture yourself holding it in your hands. Then breathe in deeply and release it. And softly whisper, "I know who I am. Time will speak the truth." Find a comfortable position, seated or lying down. Let your breath slow. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Feel the air entering and leaving. If thoughts arise, simply watch them. Don't chase. Don't push. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. Now recall the moment that shook your heart today, and say gently, "I stand on truth. My heart will prove who I am." This story pauses here, but if you ever need to return, another quiet teaching from the Buddha will be waiting. If you'd like to share what's on your heart, leave a comment or a message. This channel listens gently. May your heart know peace.